Hey guys, welcome back. I'm in a really good lighting spot, but it means I'm actually kind of squinting in the sun a bit, so I do apologize. Two very important pieces of news. One, I got my fringe trimmed today, and I think I got my mojo back. I feel a lot more like myself than I have for a while. And the other piece of news is the heat wave in London has finally broken, so I can finally sit and talk to you here like I'm without feeling like I'm gonna pass out, you know. So that's really good. That's nice. I'm planning to title this video The Fear of Creation because that's what I've been dealing with lately. So to give a little bit of context, I'm a musician, I'm a singer for anyone who doesn't follow the channel or know me already. And I released an album last year, and it did like okay, I not as well as I would have hoped, but definitely a lot of people liked it, which was great. And I kind of tried to take the wins that I got. And then the songs that were in it was a 5-song EP, and the songs that were in it I had been kind of writing over the space of about 2 years. It was kind of 2 years worth of life and songwriting. So kind of telling the story of those 2 years and even things that had happened before then. So I released that. I gigged it a little bit last year, played the songs a lot. They now kind of have a space in some people's cultural consciousness, which is amazing. Some people have taken emotional heart from them, and it has been 2 years since I wrote the last song on the album, and since then I haven't written what I consider to be any good songs. I haven't written anything that feels like me or that I would be proud to play. It wouldn't be true to say I haven't written a song, but I haven't written anything good since then. And that feels absolutely terrible. I have gone through enormous existential crisis about this. And part of the reason I'm talking about it is I came across a clip lately. I tend to treat this channel a bit like a video diary for myself. I'm hoping that I'll be able to look back eventually when I'm in a different place and see how I was and who I was before. But I saw on Instagram a clip of Amy Winehouse, and she was talking about how after she released Frank, she didn't write for another 2 years, and she kind of thought that was it as well. She didn't have anything to write about. I haven't really had anything to write about. My personal opinion, you have to be really in love to write good music. You can write about other things. It's different to thoughts and convictions in my experience. You need really strong emotion to write music. And I haven't had that sort of love in that time, romantic love. So Amy hadn't written songs for 2 years and then got around to Back to Black and wrote Back to Black, one of the greatest, most famous albums of all time. So that was really heartening to me, and it kind of made me think, God, this thing that I've been like feeling shame about for the best part of 2 years, and that I've been talking to individual friends and family about, why not, make a record of myself talking about it, talk about it publicly on the pod, maybe someone will connect to it. And then hopefully there'll be a point where I'll look at it like that Amy Winehouse video and I'll have moved on and made something good again, and I can go, wow, I had no idea. So I've tried a lot to sit down and write songs. And then when they don't come out good, I'm absolutely crushed and disgusted with myself. So then it makes me not want to try again. So I've been trying to kind of crest that hill over this last while. I've started to myself a weekly songwriting challenge. I'm probably about 6 weeks in now, so I write a song every week. And none of them are the kind of quality that my release songs have been. But I'm still writing, and basically the kind of game plan is that if I keep writing, and if I'm practicing growing as a musician and as a songwriter, by the time I have something happen in my life and genuine inspiration hits, I'll have grown enough to write even better music than I did before. I also have a problem of matching the kind of songs that I write to the kind of songs I like to sing and the sort of music I like to listen to. So, like, singing is a huge part of this for me. I only really started songwriting to have something to sing, and now I like songwriting. I love being able to make something and express myself. But I don't really want to write, even if they're good, I don't really want to write songs that aren't going to be in the style that I like to sing. Like, I like to sing kind of R&B, soul, kind of quite full voiced type music, And I feel like there's an incongruency between what enters my head and maybe even my personality and the type of music that I like to sing and that I like to listen to, because I also listen to that music, and that makes me kind of sad. Sometimes I feel like I'm not bombastic enough as a person, or I was going to say bodacious, but that's a physical attribute. But like that I don't feel the right emotions that lead you to write that sort of music. Like, I feel strong emotions, but they tend to be like maybe kind of sadder ones rather than the sort of exuberance that you need to write that sort of music. So, and the things that I feel strong convictions about, when I write a song that's sort of like almost like a folk protest song or something, in my head I'm going, I wouldn't listen to that, that's not what I like, So I do feel like there's a mismatch between, unless I'm feeling great inspiration and I have a particular emotional situation going along, I feel like there's a mismatch between what enters what is in my head on a daily basis, and the sort of songs that leads to, and then the songs I actually like to listen to. Because every musician at the end of the day wants to make music that they would like, that they would want to listen to. The songs that are on my album, like I said, they all came from like a place of strong emotion at the time, and they all pretty much flowed out of me. I didn't have to try very hard to write them. Some of them it was kind of over the space of a few months, that they flowed out of me. Some of them it was in like just one songwriting session. And they were all a particular sound and a particular genre that, like, really I would like to go even more loud and bombastic and maybe joyful than the music I've already released. But they came out as they were, kind of fully formed, And I haven't had that since, and I don't know if it's because I'm second guessing it or if it's because of the lack of inspiration, So really my only option, and part of the reason I moved here, is to just find somebody to break my heart or fall in love with forever, have a great time here, so that I can write about it, because there have been some great songs that haven't been written about love, but there's a lot less, and it's much harder. The reason people write about love is it's the easiest thing to write about. It's much harder to write a song about a social issue or something else you feel strong conviction about without coming off as preachy. Whereas it's, hard to be preachy in love because it's pretty individualistic. It's really about your feelings and the other person's. Long story short, I'm going to continue with my songwriting challenge. I'm going to try and I want to be allowed to write bad songs. I think that's the only way. You have to be unafraid of making bad shit in order to make good shit. Like, yes, it's fine when you have inspiration and the good stuff flows out. But when I'm trying to grow and try different things and, continue to grow as a musician, even when I don't have the personal inspiration or situation, I want to start allowing myself to fail or to not love everything and stop tying the outcomes of the songs to my own worth as a person, I think, the other conclusion I came to is I'm just gonna have to start posting the songs, which was sort of a plan anyway. And I kind of thought I'm gonna keep, because when I would see people on TikTok who were doing a song a day or a song a week challenges, I was like, oh my god, the stress of that. But it never occurred to me that they might be backlogging them. So that's kind of what I'm planning to do. Like, my whole thing was, I was like, once I get into the swing of this, I'll start posting them. But I was so miserable last night when I wrote the last one and it wasn't going well, that I was like, I have to start posting these or I'm just gonna quit. Like, if I don't start, like, I'm Tinkerbell. Like, if I don't start getting some sort of positive feedback on these, I'm gonna stop doing them, or it's gonna feel horrible forever. And the other point of putting them out there is then you almost get like an audience vote. You get to see the reactions of people to the bare bones of the songs, even if it's not going to sound like that afterwards. And you get a sense of what people are really going to like and what's going to work, for like a later project. Which ones are worth keeping and which ones should be discarded, and etc. That's the most unbroken I've spoken for a long time on the podcast. Usually I have to kind of stop and think in between cuts, but this has been pretty standard, pretty non-stop talking for 11 minutes, which I think is a good thing. So I'm gonna love you and leave ye. I will see ye next week, next Thursday. If you don't follow me already, I'm Sarah Bella. Check out my music and I'll see you next week.